Hello, my sister Ramakrishna. Basically, I was on the topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, I was discussing on the topic that is this file. One of the person told that somebody is trying to create the stuff basically. So this is the stuff basically. See basically, and this connected to new project basically. When this project will start, 100% basically war is going to start. Reason, war basically has already started. That's why basically, if war might not have started, one of the person told that why basically war has started. One of the person basically literally asked the question basically, why war has started. If the employees of any of the group basically assume that basically war is ongoing of the digital world basically, assume that basically, so the digital world war is ongoing. Why? Because the system basically which has created, that has connected to lots of error basically. And if system has connected to lots of error, that means the human needs which is going to create, that is going to connect to lots of disease. And in this time basically you can't afford the disease basically, because 50 crore people basically has died in this disease, that is corona, and more 50 crore basically died in this world war basically which is ongoing. So 100 crore is already died basically. Now you can't afford the death basically. If you are affording the death, that means literally basically a world war basically will start. That is, India also have to jump into this. Why basically India have to jump? Because in IT industry, 5 to 6 crore people are basically of software industry basically. And error converting, that means what? The 6 crore people are basically not doing the job basically. They are not, they have basically not done the job properly. That means war basically. So one of the person told that if anybody is trying to trying to find out the error, that means in that basically you are not supposed to give blood basically in the backside of that particular person basically. That time basically you are supposed to solve the problem basically. You have not solved the problem, the world has suffered basically. One of the person told that how basically you can see this example basically. So I will take one example basically. In Pune basically one person basically was there basically. He was just poor person basically, but he was basically joined in one of the rich company basically. He basically got one job basically from one lady basically. That lady was also basically very bad basically. Actually she was supposed to support this person basically, but she actually supported that group only basically. That were the Marathi group basically. Here basically I am not blaming entire Marathis group basically. Here see the basically story what actually happened in Pune. So that person basically, that as in that basically 15 to 16 people basically was doing the coding, and they basically found some they basically literally done the things basically. But one of the person basically got the stuff basically of finding the error basically. So that basically from the lady basically he got. So that lady basically given the task basically to one that is, assume that I am not that person basically. My backside basically bird has not came basically. So assume that basically in this stuff basically he basically checked the lots of error basically. In this basically stuff he actually checked that stuff basically. In that stuff basically lots of error basically he found. So the Pune group basically, that is basically which group basically, that also, that is one story basically. That Pune group basically literally basically done given him poison. I don't know what else basically they have done. They basically that when basically that person basically was doing stool basically, that time basically he was getting blood inside the stool basically. Why? Because he was checking the mistakes basically, and he was finding around 200 300 error basically. So that is basically the local, because that person basically was not local basically, because it's a dadagiri basically. One of the person told that यार ये तो मतलब दादागिरी है यार. In this basically government also supported that group basically. And one of the person told that ऐसा तो नहीं है कि government was not involved basically. Or basically one of the person told that in this stool blood basically the government also involved basically or what. If that error basically might have solved that time basically, and if the blood might not have came basically, and peacefully if that error basically might have solved, then this world war basically might not have started. So one of the person told that basically let's do everything live basically. Do the project, check the stuff basically, error, fire. error, fire, error, fire. Fire means missile basically. So that are basically big people basically. That are big people. That was basically the normal person. That was the poor person basically who was checking it basically. Here basically the big people has came basically to check the error basically. Now you basically give them stool blood basically. One of the satellite person told that basically. Now basically give him blood basically in back. The war is basically ongoing. Give them basically blood in backside basically. Then basically you see what is the stuff basically going to happen of the Pune basically. In Pune basically world war will start basically. Entire building will get fire basically in Pune. One of the satellite person told this basically. So Pune basically, now he basically got that basically if I might have controlled that people basically who was actually giving the blood basically in backside basically, then this war basically might not have started and 50 crore people basically who died basically they can be saved basically. So one of the satellite person told that basically अब एक काम करो भाई अभी इसके पीछे से खून निकालो. One of the satellite person told that basically because currently basically what is ongoing basically, do you know basically currently the stuff is ongoing is project is ongoing, project managers are doing, directors are doing. In this assume the programming which is ongoing, that is of Microsoft, that is .NET programming is ongoing. Error basically found, error equal to physical place. That physical place literally gets fires, that is through missile only basically. So one of the person told that Microsoft equal to assume that basically 1,000 cities. So entire 1,000 cities are basically set as a power supply basically. That is the missile power supply. Missile power supply means, this is actually new name basically given by me just now basically. Missile power supply means entire 1,000 cities are covered with blast area basically. So wherever you found the error, immediately the missile gets fire and blast happens. So like this, one of the person basically started the stuff basically. And this is ongoing basically, which is ongoing basically. One of the person told that the text box equal to 1,000 cities, there actually this is ongoing. Yes, that there basically place the stuffs basically are ongoing basically. So here the responsible person will be Pune, and they are responsible for, they are also responsible basically. We can't blame basically one of the person basically because he is also human being basically. So he told that basically one of the person told that Pune is also responsible for this war which is ongoing. So one of the person told that live project is ongoing. So one of the person told that here the war is ongoing. In that basically one of the person basically told war equal to what basically? War equal to currently what is the situation? Currently the situation is one set of software companies are there. As in that 100 software companies are there. They are creating one project. That tester basically or quality department found some error. Error are passed to the war department. War department literally basically they see the physical area and they literally fires basically. Why? Here basically you can't say that basically इसकी तो पीछे से हम खून निकालेंगे साले के. Here basically you can't tell like that basically. इसके पीछे से तो हम खून भी निकालेंगे. So here basically you can't tell like that basically. So here basically the war has already started and one of the person told why basically India में कुछ हुआ नहीं है अभी तक. Why basically India is so safe basically. One of the person basically asked the question. Why? Because 1,000 cities equal to text box na basically. In text box basically India city is not there basically. So one of the person told that is not possible here basically. That is not possible. Because each and every chain basically are connected with India also. Why? Because in India all languages people basically are staying. And text box equal to 1,000 cities, that is 100% chained with the India also. So India is also going to be, in India basically something big is also going to happen basically. That is also 100% sure. So next video basically we are going to see that little bit about this topic, that is which is ongoing just